So again, for those of you who wish to help promote health with me, then please call the same number again. And again, if you have a health issue, other than just wanting to get the Juice Plus, we do put people on natural healing programs. There are 4 different programs based on 4 different time frames or time lengths that you would participate with us.
Great. Wonderful. And then we have someone in the chat room that is saying they take Juice Plus and it's very good. They said they've stopped putting on weight and things like that. So there's someone right there that that is actually taking the product and promoting it. So that's great.
Beautiful,
wonderful.
Beautiful.
All right.
The more you take it, the longer you take it. This is the thing. They give you a 4-month supply right up front. In other words, you pay for 1 month, but they give you all 4 months up front and trust that you will pay the others every month. But they'll give you all 4 months because it takes 4 months for all of the blood cells, all of the red blood cells in your body to renew themselves. So we'll give you 4 months right up front. And if you're on the child study, you'll get, you normally would get 8 bottles, 4 of the fruits, 4 of the vegetables. But if you're on the child health study program, you'll end up getting 16 bottles of the Juice Plus.
Isn't that something?
Yes, it's beautiful. And, we work very hard to promote health more than anything else, and we want to see the children, our future. We want to see them calm. We want to see them intelligent. We want to see them without taking any of these drugs, Ritalin and all the other garbage. They have incredible studies with children who have been on these Ritalins, who've been changed and put on the Juice Plus, and it was a miraculous change in their temperament, mood, and their participation in school and their achievements in school.
Isn't that something? Well, I think it sounds great, and I'm really looking forward to learning more about it, as well as the listeners. We have, like I said, a lot of activity in the chat room with many people saying that they are definitely going to, get the information for the Juice Plus. So I just want to thank you for sharing that with all of us.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for the opportunity to share it with the family.
Most definitely, and that's what it is, the family. So that's great. All right. Well, you've heard Dr. Phil Valentine speaking about health in depth and the Juice Plus, and now what we'll do is move on to some other areas and questions and things like that. And what I want to say to you, Dr. Valentine, is I've seen many of your lectures via video, of course. Hopefully one day in person I'll actually get a chance to attend. But the lectures are always very informative. And in a few of your lectures, you presented a very interesting concept, which is there was never a time when man was not. And I know that, that type of subject, probably requires a lot of time and things, and I know that you don't have much time, but I just want to say, can you expound on that a little bit?
Oh, that's wonderful. You have a wonderful mind, sister. That's one of the eclectic subjects that we touch upon in our school when we deal with metaphysical psychology. There was never a time that man was not. When we describe man, we have a tendency to look at man through the lens of the European. In other words, man was essentially, did not exist and was somehow a sludge or some kind of slug that crawled out of the ocean, or it decided to walk out of the ocean, and it divided up into becoming a reptile, and then divided up again and became an ape, and then divided up and became a bird. This is the infantile type of thought process that we're functioning under, and we don't have a concept of the eternal aspects of being. And they believe that something comes out of nothing. But when you deal with divine intelligence, especially cosmic intelligence, you have to know that there is a cause and an effect, and that all we're studying are the effects. What is the cause? So when we look at cause, we see that cause is eternal. When we look at the Creator, we say the Creator is eternal. So if we are one of the high-up aspects of the Creator, and if the Creator would have created us at the beginning of creation, then if creation was and never will be ending, and it's always something that continues, infinite and eternal, how is it that man starts somewhere in the middle, as if he or it or she did not exist at the very beginning of the mind of God? So if you're looking for a beginning and an ending for what we now have seen, or what we now perceive of as this intelligence called man, which incidentally means M-A-N, Mem Alpha Nun in the Kabbalistic, when you're dealing with Kabbalah, it's Mem Alpha Nun, which means mother, father, son, if you're looking at the colloquial definition. So when we speak of man, we are encompassing all the dynamics of gender in there, and the continuity of life from one to the next, from mother to father to mother to son being mother and father and mother, daughter, and so forth. This is the continuum that we call life. So if there is no beginning or ending to what we call the Creator, then there is no ending to that which is the creation itself that represents its highest point of intelligence in matter. So there was never a time that man was not. Man has taken on so many different variables, so many different outer shells, so many outer vehicles in the process of self-consciousness, or coming into the consciousness of one, that to say that man began as an ape is very infantile. It's ludicrous. And to look at man and the Creator as separate is to definitely now say there is no God, and that man just popped out as a random combination, as they want to say, some of these people who are nihilists, as a random coming together of two atoms and just decided that we're going to become man. This is ludicrous. The other part of it is that the Creator, being the all in all, and being the sum of all things that can be calculated and uncalculated and non-calculated, that which is known, unknown, and unknowable, that thing which we are now pointing to as the Creator has to have created for a reason. And that's us. That's what we do. We have to seek out the reason for creation in the first place. What is the why behind why we exist? And a lot of people who don't want to take on the task of studying why we exist would say, well, it's all random. And it's nonsense. That means there's no intelligence involved by the very fact that intelligence exists. So our intelligence has to have preceded, or at least have been a precursory event or reality before we can express it in the physical realm. There is no effect without a cause. So what I have said, and what you've probably seen in my lectures, is that the Creator creates in order to know itself.
Right.
In order for it to know itself, it had to create who we were in order for us to reflect on it. And as we reflect on it, it reflects on itself. So man exists for the Creator to experience, for the Creator to know. And every time we act upon what it is that we do, every time we come to a higher knowledge of ourselves, we come to the understanding of ourselves as the Creator becomes more knowledgeable of itself. So to be all-knowing is to really be the opposite as well, to be non-knowing, to be completely ignorant of self. And what am I saying? I know it sounds eclectic, it sounds nuts, it sounds crazy, but you have to get into an abstract mind. You have to separate yourself from the comfort that your reality has given to you. You have substance for you to say, well, this is a table, this is a this is a that. That's not what we're talking about. We're going beyond what it is that you feel as reasonable, what you have become comfortable with as reasonable. So that when we say that the Creator, being all-knowing, cannot know itself, and therefore it detracts upon itself, and by contracting upon itself, creates the 1/10 of perception necessary for it to examine itself. And that 1/10 becomes the vagina, that becomes the triple black mother that gives birth to all things holographically. and I can go on and on and on.
Wow. Well,